It's knockout time in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge. The two sides that face each other in the inaugural 2017 final square off in the semi-finals in Kanyamazane. The SuperSport Rugby Challenge has been bringing rugby across the country to different communities, and today we find ourselves in perhaps the most spectacular setting yet. The place of the Bucks, Kanyamazane in Mbombela. And we are in a stadium amidst the hills. And a wonderful atmosphere and setting. It's warm. For those who have traveled from the Cape, they'll be surprised to know that it is the same season. And just a stunning day. And indeed, two sides that are really powerful and have gone this season, each only losing one. Both sides, and well, particularly the Griquas, have a great marriage of older players. They've got Volmink, Orense, Swartz, Brunt, Whitehead with a lot of experience. Then you've got a Burger, the youngster who is in the Varsity Cup this season. C.S. Kuhn has real warrior. William Wilson is an English sevens player, and that front row, it just has a wealth of experience. In Western Province, Tristan Late's a very exciting player. Barry has been moved to wing. He is a player with a huge amount of experience, a lot of leadership, of course. Verleun has played Super Rugby. For Nurenian, we've spoken about Norman. And looking at the forwards, Sessenklee and Valentine, Esterhazen. Interesting mix. Esterhazen was playing club rugby, and Chad Solomon, the hooker, who has a lot of experience for Western Province. So an interesting lineup that we have from both these sides. And there are 10 players across the two sides, 5 each that played in the Varsity Cup this year. As we watch Craig Barry leading on Western Province, I am in the booth with the Italian stallion, the Maritzburg monster, and the man with the officially deepest voice in the world, Wim Visser. This is going to be a cracker today.
Oh, definitely so. Thanks, Anton. I believe this is going to be one of those games where it's going to be nail-biting. You will not know what to expect. Both sides have ticked most of the right boxes to be where they are. They're playing in a semi-final. It's about the silverware. We know that Western Province won the first edition of the SuperSport Rugby Challenge. They were unbeaten. We know that Griquas have played in both editions of the finals, and they lost to unbeaten sides. Last year, Griquas came unstuck to the Pumas. Both sides are littered with quality, with caliber. Up front, they both have V8 horsepower in their packs. In the backs, they're elusive, they are skillful. It's all about 80 minutes. Who wants it more? Who wants to play in this year's SuperSport Rugby Challenge final?
Paul Menti will be officiating today. He's been featuring prominently throughout his competition. The Griquas will be playing left to right. White with green stripes. And this is a game which many people have struggled to call. The Griquas suffered a flu epidemic earlier in the week, and many of their players were unable to train on Monday and Tuesday. Gail Hasner has actually been not allowed to play because of the illness. And the semi-final has begun. George Whitehead, the second highest point scorer in this year's SuperSport Challenge, on 67 points, begins the game. The highest point scorer is Abner van Reenen on 79. Paul de Vet gives it to van Reenen. Tristan Late fires it upfield. He hasn't found touch. Quickly flung in. Anthony Volmink toes it, and that is a fine kick. Good awareness and great execution.
Oh, you hit that right on the head, Anton Taylor. Volmink takes the right club out of the bag, judges it to perfection, trickles into touch, pressure line out, and stolen by the Griquas.
Over the top it went. Aya LaRue, one who fielded it now. Griquas in a dangerous position, looking to start this game 1 minute in. The result now for Western Province, bit of breathing space.
It's well contested on the ground by Western Province, causing chaos at the ruck. It's a good start by Griquas, but up to the task defensively. They've only leaked an average of just over 2 tries per game of Western Province, so very sound in defence.
Yet another line-out from Province, not working out. It's gone out to Keita. Keita himself, a former Western Province player. Now, Sias Kun. Those line-outs will be a cause for concern early on for Western Province. Volmink. Burger. Strong line of defense from Province. Whitehead. Swartz. Now Keita. Keita moving some room. Holds on to it, gets it inside. Orenson now puts his head down. Burger. Feeds it out. Griquas looking dangerous. Through the hands. Quick pass. Numbers out wide. Wilson fires it out, and Enver Brunt trots over as the Griquas open their account and draw first blood.
Griquas on the board, 5 points. Tonight against Western Province with a conversion to come.
Oh, it's unforgiving execution by this Griquas outfit. Firstly, another line-out steal. The ability to move the ball out wide. Ball retention is good. They make it look so easy. Why? It's the ball that does the work. Finding the space. Enver Brunt hugs that far touchline, keeps his width and depth. And quite frankly, makes it look so easy.
George Whitehead, who has scored 1,020 first-class points in his life. He's had 46 caps for the Griquas. Off the upright, Griquas denied the extra 2.
Well, the Tafelaga Griquas have started this fixture guns blazing, and what they do so well is finding the space. The man in width and in depth is Enver Brunt. So easy.
Van Reenen restarts with a deep drop kick. And immediately it's hoofed upfield. So this is going to be now an interesting time as Western Province, who have been having some issues in the lineouts, try come right.
They need to get composure. Chad Solomon, a lot of pressure on him.
And the way they resolved it was a quick one to the front. Worked out perfectly for Province. Now, just inside their own half. Burger, Van Reenen did well to hold on. That would have been intercepted now. Out to Barry. Barry charges up, kicks. Tristan Lates in pursuit. And Orenson pushed it back. Tristan Lates was racing up after that. Griquas now slow it down. A pod has been formed. Park down. This will be a good test for the Griquas. A well-structured side. This is when they need to call on their structures. Well, they get a bit of distance, but now Province with a good attacking opportunity, and Griquas' defense will be tested. Solomon finds Sessenklee.
Move!
The Maul now set up, isn't moving forward at the moment. De Wet, Viljoen, lost forward. Andre Swartz now goes on the run, whips it out. Andries Orense. Volmink. Burger. Swartz sees a space. Barry reads it well. Stabs it upfield. Pursues. It's another close call. Province in pursuit. This field is originally a soccer field, so the ball really skims off it when one puts through those grubbers.
Good positional play by Craig Barry. Finds a grubber.
And the line out, a bit messy. Pod set up. Parked immediately by the Griquas. Whitehead is standing back deep. Receives it. Pumps it upfield. Taken by Barry now. Tristan Late's the recipient. It's wrapped up on the halfway line. DeVet. Dixon. Warner Redlinghase, 8th man for Western Province today. To win the Varsity Cup. Both Picker and Marty's now bashed up. That's Blase. Turned over by the Griquas. Once again, I think the right decision to hold on to it there. It was a wall. Western Province defenders waiting for the pass. Burger. Gives it to the big men. And now Anthony Volmink puts it to his boot. A chase is on. Taken beautifully now. And the stabbing through. Andre Swartz. Just got a hand to it. It went forward, I believe.
Griquas showing good presence at the breakdown, turning over the Western Province outfit. An immediate vision by Anthony Volmink, and the kick chase from Enver Brunt, even better. Anton, I was chatting early on to the coaching staff. The Griquas have had an unsettled week due to the fact that 20 of their players have been in the sick booth with a bit of flu. So their set-up and structured week for a semi-final has been slightly interrupted. I can tell you one thing, they mean business. They've come out guns blazing. Western Province battling at line-out time. Their set pieces normal of Swiss watch perfection. Out of 4 line-out balls, they've lost 3.
I'm reminded of when the Griquas played in the 2017 SuperSport Challenge semi-final. They were against the Lions, and many expected the Lions to win that one, and the Griquas came out guns blaring, flaring, and defeated the Lions in emphatic fashion. Western Province, who beat the Griquas that same year, will of course be for a different result.
Bind. Set.
DeVet takes it, but the penalty for the Griquas. You know what happened there?
Almost looks like the gesture from the referee, Mr. Paul Mente, that there was hands in scrum to get that ball back. There was good pressure from Griquas. And a wise decision. You're in the right area, get that scoreboard ticking over. And that's exactly what Griquas are going to do.
Whitehead now a chance to again put his name on the scoreboard. Does it. Adds 3. Griquas now with a 8-0 lead.
2 more points for Griquas on the board. The score moves to 7 points to 0. 8 points to 0 against Western Province.
Abner van Rienen restarts. Whitehead returns fire. Hasn't found touch. Manu Redlinghuis. Tackled by Edries Arendse. Must be nearing 100 caps for the Griquas. Sessinkli, late. Sessinkli again. Having a busy start to the game as Jordan Sessinkli played Marties this season. De Wet, Blose, Viljoen. Viljoen. Chad Solomon gets out the pass. Redlinghuis. De Wet to Blose again. Late. Van Rienen. Beautiful pass that he's got out there. Over the top, finds his man, and that is a beautiful bit of interplay by Western Province for their first try of the semi-final.
Province on the board with 5 points. As the SuperSport Rugby Challenge semi-final.
Magic collective effort between backs and forwards. Good hands in front of silky traffic. But I can tell you, Barry keeps his width, keeps his depth, runs onto the ball at pace. And that is what Western Province can do. Straight back into the semi-final.
Van Rienen now.
Oh, fantastic vision by the outside centre. David Brits. Timing of the pass, timing of the run. Ticked all the right boxes, did Western Province. And they're back into the semi-final.
We restart. George Whitehead sends it high, tapped back by Arendse, but Brandon Valentine earns it for Western Province, and they're going to have a scrum.
Medic.
So a bit of attention to Eerbold van der Westhuizen. He's a veteran, he's on 68 caps. So as I said, there's some players who have been with the Griquas for a long time. Then some exciting new players, in particular Chris Smith, who's on the bench, number 22 for the Griquas today. He was the Varsity Cup overall player that rocks the season. So it will be watched with great interest, and I'm personally keen to see how he adapts to this high level of rugby.
Coach! Bind! Set!
De Wet feeds. Van Rienen. Brits. Late. Barry. Once again, that stabbing grubber kick. Well played by the Griquas. Aronsa slips, gets up. So now an opportunity to draw even for Western Province. Van Rieenen, also the top point scorer in this competition thus far, with a beautiful backdrop. Oh, he's missed, so stay 3 points adrift for Western Province. Berger sends it upfield to his opposite number 9. Western Province contained just within their half. De Wet, Van Rieenen. Work blind again. The kick from late. And that is now the 3rd time we've seen that. How more often will we see, particularly on that right side of the field, that tactic being employed?
It is a good option, especially with structured defense systems like the Griquas have. And the fact that your attacking form becomes very claustrophobic, a grubber option is always a weapon in modern day rugby.
Ian Groenewald
Maul!
receives for the line-out as Ayaf Leroux now drives the maul. Still comes on the side of the Griquas. Eventually it was disrupted by Western Province. Berger gives it to Kwezimona. Now the kick from Whitehead, high. Players chasing. Late reads it well. Strong counter-rucking from the Griquas. Berger. Viljoen played a bit of fullback at school. Shows his kicking ways. George Whitehead carves in field. Slips off what could have been a huge tackle. Leroux. Swartz. Ball ripped out into Western Province hands. Late. Van Rieenen. Options are plenty. Paul Menti calls them all back.
The call comes from the assistant referee. There was a slight knock-on by a Western Province player. You can see Anthony Fulmunk wasn't happy about the decision. And he's still South Africa's individual leading try scorer per match. He scored 9 tries in the Vodacom Cup match where the Golden Lions downed the Limpopo Blue Bulls by 161 points to 3. 9 tries in that fixture for Anthony Fulmunk.
Coach! Bind! Set!
16 men clash, and that is a stable scrum. Berger takes his time. Whitehead Arnse. Peeling round, big Sias Kun breaks his way into the Western Province half. Big hit coming in there. I believe it was Redling Hayes. Griquas not making much forward ground until now. They kick it up. Lates in his 22 puts in the kick. Leroux finds his mark beautifully.
Maul!
Victor Sekekete, the recipient. So is this in a kickable position for George Whitehead?
Decisions for Griquas. But a lovely two-handed take by the big lock forward, Victor Sekekete. Opting for the line-out option, do Tafolaga. Griquas kicking it into the corner, and once again their line-outs have been clinical. Will they set up that driving maul and put this Western Province pack under pressure?
So here we see the teams with an opportunity to show off their coaching as it's now worked out. Leroux, the defense standing strong. As I was saying, an opportunity for defensive structures to compete against set plays of the Griquas. Thus far, Western Province holding strong. Province with an important line-out, comes up a hand. It's very nearly stolen. Viljoen puts in the kick. Volmink puts on his running boots, beats the first, but Viljoen is up to make the tackle after his kick. Kun. Good tackle by Esterhazen there. Nice inside pass.
Go Griquas!
De Wet, now with the turnover, puts in the kick. Volmink, he's had a couple opportunities to that. Berger goes blind. Wrapped up by Craig Barry. Rather, it was Valentine put in the tackle. Good interplay between the forwards. Sekekete puts in the pass, now lost forward.
Needed to be slightly deeper. AJ Leroux come from depth and come at pace. Cheap turnovers been gifting possession back to this Western Province side in vital areas of the field because the build-up was good. Ball retention from this Griquas outfit has been good.
There in camera is BJ Dixon, who one of the standout players for Marties in the Varsity Cup. As I've said, there's a lot of players from both sides who were in the Varsity Cup, and many of them from Marties. Griquas, as I said, have Chris Smith and also Johan Momsen, who was captaining Marties at the start of the season.
Johan Momsen, the Marties Varsity Cup captain, as you mentioned. He was part of the Dream Team Varsity Cup side in 2017. Nice to see him getting some SuperSport Rugby Challenge experience with Griquas. It's all territory and possession for Griquas. Vital scrum for Western Province.
Bind. Sit.
De Wet, Van Reenen, Brits. Popped up, bit of juggling from Western Province. BJ Dixon. Blose, Van Reenen. Barry.
Wait.
Whitehead. Reads it well. Fulmick, another opportunity for him to run. Now bursts into space. Whitehead making himself space. Back to Fulmick. Beautiful pass to Enver Brunt. Stays alive. Fulmick again. Fulmick. May have been a forward pass. We're going to have to go back and have a look. If not, wow.
From the Griquas in the last pass here. Please have a look and advise me.
We are checking for a forward pass, but this man Fulming showing why. He is so elusive. He plays to the space, finds a play and then backs up in a support run. Is that there forward? And then keeps that ball alive, finds supporting players. I don't believe that's forward.
So the rule is about which direction the ball is traveling when it leaves the hands. Momentum is allowed to make the ball go forward, but this moment is what will decide.
Okay, Paul,
Yes, Mr. Paul.
there's evidence that the pass was forward,
All right.
so please change your on-field decision and go back for a scrum.
Thank you. Time back on. No try.
So
Ball went
it was
forward.
judged by Pro Legote to have gone forward.
Was right
Sure,
about here.
tough call. We'll have a scrum restart for the forward pass, but electric as Anthony Fulming with ball in hand. He plays to the space, finds support, backs up his pass, and a good support run.
The ball went forward.
Electric.
So scrum, yeah. All right, that's fine. You can bring on the sub. Yeah. Okay.
Electric indeed, Vim.
Time off. Sub by Province.
It's been a competitive game thus far. Mbombela certainly has thus far lived up to expectations. And now there are some reserves being run, remembering that the SuperSport Challenge allows for rolling subs. So players can come on and off the field, and it's pretty warm out there today, so it's not a poor idea to rest some of the gents.
A couple of replacements up front in the engine room. Has been an area where Western Province have not dominated in this opening 26 minutes, almost 27.
Coach! Bind! Sit!
De Wet. Viljoen entering the line. Now deep back for it, Van Reenen. Good little goose step from him. Little side step, and has that gone too far?
Please keep the mark.
Very calmly, Edward Brunt dots it. We're going to have a 22 restart.
Abner van Reenen, cool, calm and collective, product of Garsfontein, played SA under 20 in 2018. Very cool, calm and collective, steps off, evades the pressure, the defensive pressure from Griquas.
Whitehead restarts. Andre Manuel played for UWC, passes it to his fellow UW's player, Tristan Lates. Province Passed it through the forwards, and now Lates. Good inside pass to him. Blose. Sessinklee. Change of direction now. Through the hands. Viljoen. Seen him being bashed up as a battering ram a couple times already today. Liam Hendricks. Liam and his brother Lyle on the bench for Western Province today. De Wet to Redlinghuis van Renen. Sessinklee. Good gang tackle on Sessinklee. Van Renen. Good cut-out pass. And a fine take by Craig Barry. Province now finding some shape, as I say that. Holding on to it. Griquas with the penalty.
No.
It's good defensive work by Tafelaga. Griquas presence at the breakdown. A player in a position of strength wins that penalty. And Western Province pay the price. Standing work. Ball goes down and immediately onto the ball with such a low sense of gravity, winning that penalty.
LaRue. Now, blindside it goes. Brunt with his pace. LaRue. Bashes it up. Good momentum for the Griquas. Bergen digs it out. Still moving forward are the Griquas. Now Whitehead works it out. Swartz. Volmink. Orense. Cuts infield. Presents back beautifully. Kun. Burger, Swartz. Orense gets it inside to Volmink. Stunning hands thus far from the Griquas. The big men bash it up. Burger works it out. Mona. Whitehead. Into the hands of Gideon van der Merwe. And the Griquas get their second. Beautiful build-up of play from the Griquas leading to that try.
You hit that right on the head, Anton. It's all about the build-up. It's all about the execution. Almost looked like that was a without the ball, but the bounces count. It's a bounce pass. Van der Merwe at the right place at the right time. That is Griquas' second try in the semi-final.
Whitehead makes no mistake. Two more. As now the Griquas triple Western Province's score.
There they looked like a bit of obstruction, but the bounces can't. Van der Merwe perfectly positioned. All he has to do is canter in, dot that ball down.
And the restart went out on the full. So another opportunity for Griquas. Start to try to dominate Western Province.
Come here, guys.
Province have had periods, not only of individual brilliance, but periods when the side really plays with good structure.
Skip up the scrum.
Good phase play.
Last one went down. Keep it up.
You only play as well as your opposition allows you to play, and what Griquas have done well, they've been in the face defensively. Rush defense tactic in the face of Western Province. They're making their first time tackles count. They've only missed 3 tackles in the opening 30 minutes, 32 minutes now. On the other hand, Western Province have missed 7, and they've had to have made 39.
Coach!
Perfect platform for Griquas to launch from. Stable
Bind.
scrum required.
Set.
Good push from the Griquas. Will Wilson in the midst. And eventually Paul Minty says, no.
The scrum is standing. Let's have another one.
We'll have a mulligan.
Mulligan it is. That right arm flicked out for a portion. It did seem like Griquas were trying to milk that penalty. It's a good scrum. Control is good. But wheels around the 180 degrees. Fantastic Sunday, and it's happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Happy Youth Day. We're in the community. It's all about kids, smiling faces, families. What a pleasure.
Coach. Bind. Set.
Bigger push this time from Province.
8-9.
Berger. Whitehead running onto that pace. Swartz gets up. The underhand pass may have gone forward, irrespective. Western Province in possession. Quenzo Blose. Redling Hayes.
Mon.
Good support rucking there.
There is a ball. Leave it. Western Province. Scrum.
The result in favor of the Griquas.
He took the ball in. Scrum.
Once again, it's a cheap turnover from Western Province, gifting possession back to Griquas. And it's basically been the story of the first 36 minutes for this Western Province side.
Seconds. Come big. Beyond. Coach. Bind. Sit.
Sturdy scrum. Berger slips, no matter. Griquas on the 10 metre of Western Province. Whitehead, Formink. Good tackle upon him by Andre Manuel. Kun. Deft inside pass to Earvald van der Westhuizen. Now to the back line again. Swartz, Whitehead, Edwin Keita.
16.
Kwesi Mona. Defense held up strongly for Western Province, forcing Mona to hold on to it there.
Time check table. Please say again.
Skalk Erasmus finds his mark. Berger, Van Reenen, Verleun. How often have we seen
No!
Western Province bashing it up?
Hands in the ruck.
Been quite effective thus far.
Well, discipline letting down the Griquas towards the end of this first half. Hands in the ruck and an opportunity for Western Province to get their scoreboard ticking over.
Van Rienen, this is a crucial kick. First half is anything to go by. It's going to be a tight game. These 3 points could come to mean a lot later on in the game, as we stand on the edge of the end of first half. Three added. And now Western Province within a converted try of drawing even with the Griquas.
In favor of Griquas. It's the first semi-final of the SuperSport Rugby Challenge. Still to come, Pumas versus Poland Cavaliers.
Whitehead sends it deep. Van Rienen reads it, hoofs it upfield. Volmink flings it inside. Whitehead. Is there a final roll of the dice? It very nearly was. What was almost an intercept. So Province now, this is a great opportunity for them. Does Van Rienen have the distance? Will they go for the line? Whoa! Big moment now. And in a space of a minute, Western Province have the opportunity now to dramatically shorten the lead that the Griquas have over them.
He's been productive for his side this year. He's the leading point scorer in the SuperSport Rugby Challenge 2019. Discipline letting down this Griquas side towards the latter part of this first half. 5 penalties conceded. Vital opportunity.
Boom! At 3. And the semi-final all of a sudden has become much tighter. It was Griquas who appeared dominant for most of the first half, despite some flashes of attacking brilliance from Western Province, and 2 penalties in the 79th and 80th minute bring Western Province closer. At half-time, the Griquas lead Western Province 15 points to 11 in Kanyamazane. We're in Kanyamazane and we are 40 minutes away for one side from the SuperSport Challenge final in 2019. At halftime in the semi, Griquas lead Western Province 15 points to 11. It's been a competitive, tight first half in an outstanding setting. And of course, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. My colleague Wim Visser, my own dad, both are watching. And of course, Youth Day tomorrow, celebrated across the country. Abner van Rienen begins the second half. A shorter kick. And Andre Swartz, who so often played 10 for Griquas over the years, competing against Whitehead, now in 12, takes the kick.
Use it now.
AJ LaRue, who has been a veteran for Griquas over the years as well, takes contact. Now Zach Berger looking to set up the kick, puts in the box kick. into Stormer's hands.
Knock on advantage.
De Wet to Leitz. Van Renen over the top, Craig Barry. Craig Barry puts in the kick. We saw him do that numerous times. Burger forced to take it over into his dead ball line, and under pressure, Whitehead does, I think, quite well.
Yep, a rabbit gets pulled out of the hat by Griquas, but once again it's good vision by Craig Barry. It's a rush defense tactic, so there's no one out the back, and he's opted for that grab on numerous occasions, and it's put Griquas under pressure, and it's kept Western Province in the right areas of the field.
It's the benefit of having Barry, who's so often a fullback on the wing, he can put through those pinpoint kicks. Solomon to Dixon. Dixon passes it forward, rather down to Sessenklee. More wheeling, slowly making his way forward. Valentine still going. De Wet, Verleun,
Advantage, 13 offside.
Van Renen. Seems as if Province a bit of a fire in their belly after half-time.
I'd love to know what their coach said, Jerome Palvater, during the half-time break, but it's 2 late penalties in this first half and an early penalty in the second half. It's a 9-point split for this Western Province side, and it's got them straight back into this fixture.
Van Renen again, and through 3 penalties in essentially the last 3 minutes of play, if we go back to the first half, Province have got 9 points. Whitehead sends it up. Well taken. Late. Whitehead beneath it. Takes his time before returning it upfield. It's gone really high. Well read by Van Renen. De Wet, Barry. Strong defense there, Victor Sikakete. Came from the Bulls to the Griquas at the beginning of the season. Volmink. Whitehead. He's been dropping back neatly to that fullback position today. Tristan Leitz. Long pass inside Van Renen. Looked to kick. Held on to it. Whitehead makes the tackle.
David, 5.
Slowed down. De Wet to Redlinghayes. Verleun passes, keep it alive, but rather keep it alive for Griquas, as Will Wilson, who studied at Oxford and played England Sevens, takes it. And now Volmink through the hands. Sias Kun. So strong. Kun still going. Kun eventually taken down after running over 3 defenders. Now with some momentum. Griquas 15 meters out. Burger. Kwesi Morna takes a fine line.
Offside.
Slowing it down now, the Griquas. Forwards bash it up. Bashing it up. Ruan Kramer. Nkafu. 10 phases now, the Griquas. And they are making inches forward. Are they just going to keep on going? Spoke about the structures. Janssen van Rensburg now coaching at the Griquas. Sekekete. Through the hands now. Cheetahs unleash it, and yet another try in which a Griquas player canters over almost unhindered. This time it's Edwin Keita.
Well, outstanding play from this Griquas side. They knocked and eventually 14 phases later that front door opened. But the running line of this Griquas player, Edwin Keita, he goes through that gap and he opens the Griquas account in the second half.
And the Griquas, points there added to, converting the try.
Well, they kept it close, they kept it direct. And then all the defenders from this Western Province outfit were sucked in. The running line of Keita, pinpoint precision.
Now kept alive off the kickoff by the Griquas.
Tackle!
We see them employing that same strategy, giving it to the big men before working it out to the back line. Swartz. Brandt coming in with some proper pace. Now a head of steam being built by the Griquas. Kun.
Advantage. Offside number 5. Penalty advantage.
Cromer. Whitehead holds on to it. Gets out that pass. Sekekete has become more busy in the second half. Whitehead, Swartz, fine quick hands. Through the hands now, Keita, the try scorer. And the Griquas now finding some shape. Couldn't.
All of them. Advantage, blue offside.
Bashing it up now. Griquas looking strong. Burger takes the time. That's what they do. They slow it down. They don't rush. Van der Merwe over the top. Enver Bruin dots down for the Griquas. And how cool is he?
I don't know how cool he is, but it's clinical execution from the Griquas side. They use Sias Kun, who started the second half like a bull in a china shop. He gets over the advantage line. They keep it tight. Their once-off runners come from pace and depth, sucking in Western Province defence. And then there's so much space out wide. The vision used, the over-the-top pass. Enver Brunt hugs that far touchline, keeps his width and depth. There's no answers to that.
Whitehead to take the Griquas to 29. Oh, beautifully curls it in. David Beckham would be envious. Now the score's starting to stretch away from Western Province.
That over-the-top pass, brilliance.
Indeed, that pass is what made the try. And of course the build-up and some fine phase play from the Griquas thus far. Province counter-rucking hard. Ball comes out nonetheless. the Griquas side. And they get the scrum.
Man on the ground. Scrum their ball.
Coach! Bind! Set!
Good balance of beer on that scrum. And now a late push from the Griquas, towing it forward, earn themselves a penalty.
Well, that picture tells a story of 1,000 words. High-fiving all around from the pack of 8. Collective effort was paramount to gaining that penalty. Western Province pay the price, but it's pack dominance up front from the Griquas side. They milked that penalty. That is penalty number 4 that Western Province have inflicted and been sanctioned for in this fixture.
So Whitehead didn't find touch. Late received it, and now Addy Manuel gives it back to Late. Late with that electric pace, puts in the kick. Van Renen almost got it, tapped it forward rather. And I've seen that so often today with the kicks. Western Province just unable to retain them, often coming very close.
Options. Line out of scrum.
Almost paying the price to Griquas for not finding that touch. Keep it simple, stick to basics, make sure that the areas that you need to tick boxes in are clinical. So if you've got a penalty, make sure you make the touch finder, make your first time tackles. That's what it's all about, Anton.
Indeed, it was actually Godlin Masimla who was there. That's Brent Janssen van Rensburg, who moved from the Pumas at the beginning of this year. And of course the Pumas playing in the semi-final just afterwards. He took the Pumas all the way to the final and won the SuperSport Challenge with them last year. So will he be the man to do it again for the Griquas? Masimla, and I just mentioned new to the field.
You hit it right on the head. Brent Janssen van Rensburg winning the SuperSport Rugby Challenge against Griquas last year in an unbeaten season. The first edition of the SuperSport Rugby Challenge was won by Western Province against the same opposition, Griquas, in an unbeaten season. Will this be another one of those ones where Pumas qualify in an unbeaten season once again, but will whoever wins this game upset the Pumas' victory triumph?
It's an interesting question, Vim. And also something important to remember is many of the players playing for Griquas today suffered defeat against Western Province in 2017 in the final. So they will perhaps be extra motivated to revenge that loss they suffered. Berger, deft small kick, bounces perfectly. Brunt puts in the boot, it's being pursued, and runs away from them all.
It's an intelligent kick pass from George Whitehead and Enver Brunt. The bounce was kind, and when Griquas was ball in hand, they become so dangerous. Perfect timing for the grubber. And good kick chase from the Griquas side. The moment the pendulum is swinging in their favor.
And now it's Ruan Kramer. Him and Kwesi Mkafu played for the Griffins against the Griquas promo relegation match 2 years ago. He was subsequently signed with the Griquas. Now over the top it goes. Folmink Puts in the kick. Brunt pursues. And fortuitously for the Griquas, bounces just before going out.
Number 4 white, sub. Number 2 blue. Number 2 sub.
Well, this is a massive defensive line out for the Griquas. You'll expect them to throw everything at it, including the kitchen sink.
Erasmus doesn't quite find his mark. New to the field is Johan Monson. A short kick from Renan.
No advantage. Yeah, I'm gonna say that now. All right.
It's well contested in the air by Griquas, making it very difficult for Western Province to get set-piece brilliance at line-out time.
Coach! Bind! Set!
Masimla, who was at the Kings last year, works it out. And then puts in the kick.
Good defensive effort by Griquas, particularly Andre Swartz. Relief is brought by Godle Masimla.
Kafu misses his mark. A gift for Western Province. Masimla, Van Reenen, Viljoen. Manuel takes it in field. Blase with the fine hands. Well handled, kept alive. Brilliant stuff. BJ Dixon gets out the pass. Now Godlin Masimla gives it out. Brandon Valentine, the big man, won't be stopped. Tons of pace, and the passing that led to that try was out of this world.
Outstanding play from Western Province. That pop pass and then controlled made the difference. And the support play from the big lock forward. He comes rumbling down. Brendan Valentine, what a try.
The convention is on. Let's go now. 29-21 in the second stand of the semi-final. The first one, Western Province versus Griquas.
Drop kick. Obviously showing Western Province are keen to get back in this and back in quickly. That pass from BJ Dixon was just so impressive. A short restart from the Griquas, almost won over. But now Western Province and Mano Redlinghuis, who played and made his Super Rugby debut earlier this season, bashes it up. Van Reenen, that pass has gone awry. Swartz cleans it up, snaffles it up, gets out the pass. Gideon van der Merwe charging a last gasp tackle on him. We're gonna have another look at that later, but worked out quickly. Swartz just stopped short. That was a fine tackle on him, and Zach Berger dots it over. Hugely exciting play from the Griquas.
Oh, it's a sloppy pass that gets pounced on by Andre Swartz. And then the support play from Gideon van der Merwe, getting over the advantage line. What a cover tackle. That's what you call corner flagging. And then Zach Burger, with presence of mind, knowing that there's no pillar defense, makes it count.
You know, again, it was BJ Dixon with that try-saving tackle, but Burger just so good in his support. Just as it appeared that Western Province we're going to get back into it. And I said earlier in the first half it might be a tight game. It still can be tight, but it's certainly high scoring now. Western Province will have to dig deep, pull out some magic if they want to make it into the final. The hills of Kanyamazane in the background as George Whitehead looks to add 2.
It's Whitehead that pulls his kick back in, and fantastic camera work. What a cover tackle from BJ Dixon. That is a try-saving try. But Zach Burger with presence of mind to realize there's no pillar defense. The rest is history.
Western Province now opting for a short restart. Griquas get hold of it. Taking their time now. There's certainly no rush, unlike Western Province. Need to start scoring soon. Whitehead sends it high. Battle won by Western Province. Evia Viljoen. Viljoen was a great cricketer at school, so no stranger to the high ball, one thinks.
First thing first. Run away number 1.
Squeezing Cuff off his feet at the breakdown. Pays the penalty, pays the price. And Western Province get in the right area of the field with an option at this line out. Either off the top, set up the driving more, but they need points.
Come back on.
In search of a try, Western Province managed to messily maintain possession after that line out. Erasmus, at SA Schools Junior Box, was captain of Province under-19 side. Van Redden puts in the stabbing kick, now being hunted. Zach Burger under pressure, dragged to the ground. It's Andre Manuel who is in
Go
pursuit
Province!
there.
No!
Number 8 playing the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I like that, Anton Taylor. Now being hunted, but he does very well. And the penalty gets one for his side. But it has been an area that Western Province have not been good in. That is their set piece at line out time. They've only won 8 out of 11 balls. And it's put them under immense pressure because quite a few of those lineouts have been taken place in the red zone where they could have and should have evolved play.
Kwesi Moana just receiving some attention. Selborne College student he was, and those are the Pumas. And DJ Terblanche, one of the most capped players in first-class rugby, against Boerland, who have had their best season ever in the SuperSport Challenge. Boerland will be buoyed by last week's 1-point victory over Western Province.
Please open up.
Sekekete, Burger, Kun. So So useful and effective as Kun. And Whitehead. Late reads it. Manuel runs into a strong wall of defense. Monstered back a bit. Nice inside pass from Viljoen. Van Reenen. Lates does some stepping. He's wrapped up. Province not making much forward ground, but awarded the penalty. Take it quickly. Masimla gets it out. And the tackle coming in from Keita. Province now grouping right and left. Most of the players on the right. Viljoen over the top, intercepted. Enver Brandt. What looked like a potential try scoring opportunity. Turned over and now.
Leave it, Province! No!
Griquas with the penalty in their favor.
On the ground, they're playing it on the ground. Ball came off the feet, play on.
It's basically hands in ruck. You can't play the ball on the ground.
Medic.
Couple of disciplinary issues for this Western Province side in the last couple of minutes, and what it's done for Griquas is it's kept them in the right areas of the field, relieving pressure. Time is just ticking away. Oof. See that left ankle of Enver Brandt, who's been prominent for his side today. He scored 2 tries. As he came down, you could see that left ankle roll over.
"96 days to my favorite time that comes every 4 years. And can any of the players playing today, could any of them hope in the next 100 days they might play themselves into contention? Well, hope springs eternal, and irrespective of who's playing for the Springboks, it will all be on your channel of champions. And what a time it is. World Cup fever. Cricket fever has been in South Africa, but not always a good fever at the moment. And Western Province and Skalka Rasmus turn it over. Quick hands. Brits. Charging blind is Dion Kun. Played for False Bay. The Stormers' warm-up game this season.
Isolated, holding on.
But another scrum for the Griquas. 13 minutes left.
It's not another scrum, it's another penalty, and it's
Excuse me.
areas where Western Province need to improve their discipline, because, like I said early on, Anton, it's relieving pressure off this Griquas side. It's getting them into the right areas of the field, and that clock is slowly but surely winding down. Clearly on his feet. Take a look at that outstanding work from the right winger, Edris Arendse, on his feet, position of strength, wins the penalty.
Sekikete takes it now, the ball moving forward nicely for the Griquas.
17.
Marching forward. Eventually ripped down. Popped to Burger. Chris Smith. Swartz. Brandt, now an opportunity for him to show his pace. Puts in the handoff. Second handoff, gets in the pass, but gets it to Tristan Lates. Oh, he was almost in there. You mentioned Chris Smith has come into the field. He makes the tackle there. Involved in it, rather. Province. Kick came off a Province player, I believe. We'll see which way the line-out turns up. And rather for Griquas players. Yeah, so the throw in for Province. Over the top. And a lifeline for Provinces. Nonetheless, it finds its way into one of their players. Late. Van Reenen knocked on now. Pumas want to use this opportunity. Changing direction. Volmink. Orense, big handoff. Back to Volmink. Griquas looking dangerous now. Momsen. Cromer. Chris Smith runs onto it. Backed up by Hendricks. Berger wrapped up.
Time of just. Okay, ball hit me. Scrum, take us ball. Send him, please.
Oh, the sands of time running out for this Western Province outfit.
Let's go, chaps, please.
Once again, it's a stolen ball and immediately direct over the advantage line. That's what Griquas have done so well in this SuperSport Rugby Challenge semi-final.
Now, could you have a more beautiful backdrop for rugby? Kanyamazane, part of the greater Mbombela or Nelspruit area. And we are in these hills. What a venue it is, and what a stellar job the SuperSport Rugby Challenge has done in finding communities to bring the game of rugby to.
Well, the tale of the tape tells a story, all possession, all territory in favour of the Griquas, and then also leading 36 points to 21. The big one there, Griquas 12 times in the 22 area of this province side, and they've come away on a lot of occasions with maximum spoils.
Set.
Big scrum, wheeling.
That's going down. This side.
Paul Menti calls it back.
Come here, chaps.
Well, this is a perfect platform for the Griquas to launch an attack.
Bring your feet a little bit forward. Just come in.
Options left and right, play to the wheel.
Get the play, Toppy! Get the play! Let's go! Seconds! Let's go! Come, Vic! Coach! Bind! Set! Steady! Ready! 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 Now!
Berger. That's his scrum doing the work. Comes up, Masimla. Barry. Late. Volmink just casually lugs Lates out.
17 white. Sub.
Tristan Lates was once called the skinniest professional rugby player in South Africa. Certainly doesn't. And look at the dads there. That is what it is all about. And where would we be without our dads?
You hit that right on the head. Where would we be? But it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. It is Youth Day. So happy Youth Day.
Ball! Advantage. 16.
Now, Van der Merwe, just too strong. Gideon van der Merwe bashes and bullies his way over. And he can't be stopped.
Time check table.
Gideon van der Merwe scores his brace. He's as tough as woodpecker lips. Direct, runs hard,
Event 8.
and no one can stop him.
Come down. Yeah. Just come down. If you but clear, like I said, clear dominance forward.
Keep on making reference to the setting, but the backdrop there,
Let's
the
go, please.
hills of Kwaziyama,
Score us a bit.
Kanyamazane, which means the place of the Bucks. Just such a stunning setting for rugby. George Whitehead now. Shouldn't have too much trouble for this. Adds 2. And now things looking as if it's a bit too little, too late for Western Province to stage a comeback. This is fun to move. I mean, just incredibly strong. Ran over 2 players. They may have been backline players, but still, I mean feet. Pass gets out now, and Anthony Fulmink is showing some pace. Goodness me! Enter him into the Formula One. That man has gas for days.
It's Griquas. 48-21 in favor Griquas. It looks like we are about to confirm our first finalists for the 2019
Griquas
SuperSport
were on
Rugby
fire.
Challenge.
They have dominated this first SuperSport Rugby Challenge final, semi-final that is. But Fulmink shows a clean set of heels. And let me tell you one thing, there's no answer to blistering pace, and he shows exactly why.
Let's go, please.
He ran past the Boerland players, and he played his junior rugby in Boerland. Now Whitehead to take Griquas to the half century. Knocks it over easily. And on your screen you see there the South African under-20s will be playing France on Monday. That's going to be exciting.
He backs himself. He knows he's got enough pace. Restart taken. Griquas with possession.
All of a sudden things starting to look very depressing for Western Province. Griquas over double their score. And the Griquas turning to that structured forward play they've been using until they give it out to the back lines. That's Tinus de Beer, who featured prominently for Tuks this season. Knocked back now by Van Reeden, an error. Still has some space. There's a little jig, and big CS Kun, I believe it was, thumped him to the earth. Hendricks. Lost forward, Chris Smith. Steals it up. Presents back. LaRue got out the pass quickly. Whitehead with the drop kick attempt. He knew he had advantage. Worth a shot. It would have been something special if you put it over.
Almost knocks one over, does Whitehead. It's basically winding down. And it's been Griquas that have been dominant. Their set-piece brilliance has been excellent. They've been clinical, they've been very direct. They get over that advantage line. This is a well-coached side.
Vim, how would you say Western Province have come short today, and what have their errors been?
They slipped off too many tackles. Their missed tackles is 18 in this fixture, where a lot of tries have come due to missed tackles. Their set piece, their lineouts have let them down. It has been a dominant Griquas performance.
And now, inside pass. Crystal September gives it to LaRue. September was captaining the Leopards earlier this season, and now September. 10 meters out. Penalty taken quickly. Brandon Valentine gives it out. Craig Barry, the captain, cuts inside, beats the first defender. Through the hands for Leon Brits. Craig Barry has played in every level of rugby, from Grant Como up.
He's got it.
All the way. And now, a kick from Whitehead. Not Chris Smith, puts in another kick. Smith fields it, gets out the pass. Edries Orensa gets the try. And how enterprising was that from Chris Smith? Funny moment as well as George Whitehead's drop kick attempt disallowed.
Okay, time is off. No, official have come to you. After the kick there by the Griquas, I just want to check for you if the player that played the ball was in front of the kick.
Okay, I confirm. You want to check if the guy that received the ball was in front of the kicker?
Yes, there was a kick through by the Griquas, and I just want to check if the player that got the ball from the Griquas was in front of the kicker. I thought.
All right.
Please just
I'll
check
get
that
back
for
to
me.
you.
Otherwise, on-field decision is a try.
Ooh. Now was Chris Smith in an offside position there.
Time is finished. Signing by table.
It's pretty tight. We're looking if Chris Smith is in front of the kicker when the ball went through. They're definitely not.
And yeah, I think Chris Smith is offside.
That there is the picture that tells the story.
Okay, Paul.
Yes, bro.
10 wide kicked the ball.
Yes.
22 wide was in front of the kicker.
Yes.
But prior to 22 grabbing the ball, Province knocked on the ball. So you change your decision. Go back for a knock on Griquas ball.
Knock on Griquas ball, eh?
Yes.
All right, thank you, bro.
All right.
Okay, time back on. No try.
Try disallowed.
Player was in front of the kicker.
There was something interesting there. George Whitehead tried to take the drop kick quickly. It could be because he wanted to punish Western Province, or he could have never seen that before. We're trying to take the conversion because once it's put over, if I understand correctly, the TMO can't call them back.
Yep, 100%.
Right, boys, it's time over. It's finished.
But with modern technology, well judged by Pro Legote, and it's
First semi-final is
a
over.
dominant Griquas that down Western Province in this first SuperSport Rugby Challenge semi-final, Anton. What an outing. The coaches must be proud.
Indeed, and despite some flashes of brilliance, Western Province just no match for the dominance of the Griquas, and a fine game from Griquas. At full time, they defeat Western Province in the semi-final to advance to the finals, 50 points to 21.